a natural person, and the exclusionary rule for witnesses does not apply. There is an exception to that rule for natural persons, and he is a natural person.
I think Mr. Staples is misunderstanding the extent of the exception. It is an exception for a party who is not a natural person. You're a party to the case. The state is a party to the case. These other people are not parties to the case. The exception applies to parties not being excluded.
Well, then why was Trooper Provenza allowed to stay in the room when he was the one who signed the things? Yeah, Robert Muckenthaler. So I'm going to pull it up real quick because I think they are the ones that are misinterpreting the rule. Here we go. At the request of a party, the court shall, in criminal cases and may, in civil cases, order witnesses excluded so that they cannot hear the testimony of other witnesses, and it may make the order of its own motion. The rule does not authorize exclusion of a party who is a natural person or a victim of the crime. An officer, person whose presence. So, okay, well, maybe we misunderstood that. Officer, employee. So, and how about this? He wasn't on my witness list the first day, so how could he be subject to the order? I didn't even know I was going to call him till the second day.
I don't know what question you're asking.
Robert Muckenthaler, he watched the first day of the trial. I didn't have any witnesses until the second day of the trial, correct? So he was not a witness, and therefore he couldn't be subject to any rules.
Are you seeking to call this person a witness then?
Yes.
Mr. Muckenthaler was disqualified last time. So yes, we object to him being recalled. The objection is sustained.
So yeah, is Ken in here? I don't think there's any more witnesses. We're going to get into some videos, and I don't know if I show videos now and testify and cross-examine myself, I don't know how all this stuff is going to go.
Judge, so 10 hours left. Somebody texted him, he's turned around and coming back in 10, 15 minutes.
It's fine, he can't testify
There's
anymore.
about him being in here because he, I think, is going to be on the witness list for the 7 other trials.
Okay, gotcha.
So I don't know if the exclusionary. And then Monica Holmes out there, sir.
Oh, Monica's out there? Monica, sorry. Monica Holmes is, I think, the last one. So Nunu is, yeah, right. And then I would again ask for, I did. Monica, yes, please. Sorry, I thought he went.
We would object to this witness being called. She wasn't on even the defendant's amended witness list.
She should have been.
Oh, I apologize. I missed her name.
Okay.
Ma'am, please come up to the witness stand. Watch your step there. Before you sit down, will you raise your right hand? Do you swear or affirm the testimony you give in this proceeding will be the truth under the means of penalties of perjury? Please ask. Okay. The process is you please state your name for the record and spell your last name.
My name is Monica Holm, Monica Holm.
Great.
tape, we'll have a couple of questions for you.
Good morning, sir.
Hi.
Did you watch any of the videos of day one or day two of this proceeding?
I watched part of day one. When it got up to the testimony, I turned it off and stopped
Okay.
watching. So I'm aware of that.
Okay. So you only watched the preliminary matters? You didn't watch any of the testimony?
Correct. I watched only what I had already, I was here that day and I taped, and I just watched up to that part and shut it down.
All right, you were here that day, so you left when the sequestration order went into effect?
Outside. Yes,
Okay.
outside the doors.
Thank you. And you didn't watch any video beyond that point?
No, I have not seen any testimony, I haven't talked to anybody.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. So, thank you for coming out here so many times. I apologize to everyone that is watching and that has been here, because this whole thing, we know, is a sham. What were you doing at...
There's no evidence in the record.
There's no evidence, yeah. I can say whatever I want. So, again, thank you for coming out here. And so, October 13th, 2021, Executive Council meeting. Do you recall this day?
I do.
And what do you recall of this day, and why were you at the Executive Council meeting?
The reason I went to the executive council meeting was a friend of mine told me that there was going to be a, I don't know what to call it, I'm a physical therapist, so I don't know any of this stuff, but there was gonna be discussion about accepting monies to vaccinate the remaining of the state, including 5 to 11-year-olds, and that really, bothered me, because children don't need to be vaccinated. So my friend drove me there, and when I got there and I saw all the state troopers there, I thought they were there to protect me. That was my first thought. I said, oh good, this is great. I'll be fine here, I'll be safe here. And I went in and I sat down with my friend.
And so you got inside. Do you recall any disturbances or warnings, lawful orders during the meeting?
We went in and we were all just talking, and then we were asked to calm down because the meeting was going to start. So we all just sat down, and then they were gonna do the Pledge of Allegiance and a prayer, so they had us stand up and do the pledge. And at the end of the pledge, we just said, with liberty, and as soon as we said with liberty, the governor sat down, and we said, and justice for all, like really boisterously. So within a minute or so after that, because this was a year and a half ago, I watched the state's video that's on YouTube. It's 10/13/21 NH Executive Council meeting, part 1. It's about an hour and 50 minutes long. I watched it several times to make sure that my timeline was right. So at about a minute and 40 seconds or so, which was after the pledge, the governor admonished us and said there will be no more outbreaks or whatever. He got really provoked with us, so we just all sat down quietly. So that was the first part. Can you repeat the question?
Sure.
I'm just nervous.
It's okay. Don't worry about it. Just tell the truth and we'll be good. I mean, it's all on video anyways, and we'll get to that at some point.
The timeline is on that video for sure to back up my testimony. That's
Sure.
So it's like a minute and 40, he admonished us, and then again at like 6 minutes or somewhere around there.
And again, so he admonished us twice early on.
Right, and in between those two admonishments, there was a general, talking to us about shutting down our cell phones and not having any disruptions. That one was nice, there was no problem. The first one and the third one were the two admonishments that we had gotten before anything happened.
So what did the governor say specifically? What did he mean when he was admonishing? What was he warning against?
I don't have the exact words, you'd have to refer to the video.
No, what do you think? What did you interpret his meaning to be?
When we admonished us about the Pledge of Allegiance, it was like, what? We just were like, with liberty and justice for all. And what did we do wrong? We have the right to, at a football game or baseball game, I guess you get to say it like that, I don't know. So I was just really shocked that I got yelled at for saying the pledge with enthusiasm and whatever.
Okay. And how about, do you recall, some of these things I gotta remember to get on there as well. Do you recall where a state trooper, female state trooper came out and gave a warning to the crowd?
On their video, it's at about 59 minutes, maybe 38 seconds, I'm just guessing, I don't know the times exactly, I'd have to have a photogenic memory to know the time exactly, but about 59 minutes or so, the state trooper who I have heard is Megan Walsh. I don't know if it's her, I don't know who she is, I could not identify Megan Walsh if she was right here in front of me, I don't know, because I just don't.
Sure.
A female, state trooper came up, I was in the third row, the state trooper came up on this side, I was over on the far side, there was 5 seats, so she was 3 seats away from me and in the front there. She interrupted the meeting, and that was the first interruption of the meeting.
She interrupted the meeting.
Yes, there was the Department of...
She did, okay, sure, sorry.
The Department of Human Services, the black-haired woman, I don't know her name, she was talking, and she called in a blonde-haired woman to do some kind of, I don't even know what they were really talking about. It had something to do, I don't know. Like I said, I was only there because I was concerned about the kids. So, Megan, that blonde-haired woman was introduced, and I guess Megan, I'll just say female state trooper, because I don't want to be wrong here. The female state trooper said, if there's any more outbreaks, you will be arrested. And then...
Hold on, so you said she just stepped out and said that?
Yes.
There was no pause?
Disruption of the meeting at all, from our first, the second and the third admonishment.
You don't-
The second admonishment from the governor. That first 59 minutes of the meeting, there was no disruption from the people. In between some of the discussions, there was clapping, and there was, little things like, we the people, or there were little things said, but none of it disrupted the meeting.
The meeting was,
Until that trooper interrupted the meeting, and I remember sitting there with my friend, she was on this side, and the trooper said that, and we were like, nobody's interrupted the meeting, and now we're all gonna be arrested, what are we doing here? So I just sat quietly, again, like I had been for the first 59 minutes.
okay. Do you recall, how about my voice? Do you know my voice?
I didn't know you before any of this, and if I heard your voice, I would know, because it's loud, and it's proud, and it's very distinctive. It's got kind of a more of a nasally kind of sound. If I hear your voice, I know it's you.
Okay. And did you hear me say anything during the meeting that was loud and disruptive, or anything at all, for that matter,
I never heard your voice.
prior to the Megan Walsh warning?
Never heard your voice.
Okay. And did you ever hear me say, yeah?
Never heard your voice.
Never heard my voice, so you wouldn't have heard me say it's a lie.
Never heard your voice.
if I was talking, you couldn't hear it, apparently. So, how about, so where were you sitting in the room approximately?
I was in the third row back, in the second seat from the left, my left. My friend was here, I was here.
The third row from the front?
Third row from the front. And you were about, I don't know, 5 or 6 rows behind me, I guess.
Okay, so did you happen to see me get tapped on the shoulder? Me and Therese
I
could.
did not see you get tapped on the shoulder.
Did you?
Wait a minute, what happened was, about
Sorry,
five.
this is not responding to a question, so.
Okay, what's the question? Sorry.
Um,
I'm nervous. So.
It's okay. It's okay. Don't worry about it.
What's the question?
So, when did you become aware that Therese and I were being arrested?
Okay. I was sitting watching forward after Megan gave the warning. About 6 minutes after, Governor Sununu said, and this is not verbatim because I can't remember verbatim, but you can see it on the video at about 1 hour and 5 minutes into their video. He said, if there's any more disruptions, you will be asked to leave. So we were just sitting quietly, and I didn't hear anything until I heard shut it down, and then a female voice say, we're being arrested. And then I heard other people, a couple minutes later, scuffling about, what did he do? And, you know, they didn't do anything, and all these comments. And I still was facing forward. And then I heard a woman scream, I didn't do anything! And when I hear a woman scream, I turn to look to see. A woman or a child, I turn to look to see. So I turned to look to see, and I actually stood up. You can see me on their video, standing up and looking to see what was going on with this woman. And what I saw was horrible. And I watched them drag her all the way around and behind this curtain. And that was when I was aware that several people had been arrested. I knew one of them was Frank from his voice of Shut It Down, which I had never heard him say that before. And then I heard Therese say we're being arrested. Those are the only 2 people that I knew those 2 people were the ones who were arrested because of their voices. And I didn't know, who the other 2 were, or 3, or whatever, how many were, and then I saw the woman go behind her. I don't know if that's answers your question.
And so now I'm back there screaming and yelling. People are getting arrested. And were you arrested at one point?
I was. After I turned around and watched that.
Sustained.
This sustained for what? I didn't even hear what he said.
It's not relevant.
It is relevant to the fact that this was entrapment. And she just testified to the fact that Sununu said we would be asked to leave if there was any disruptions. Okay? And so I'm trying to build a case for entrapment here, an entrapment defense. I've been doing that the whole time. They didn't let us leave. Megan Walsh gave an admonition for nothing. She did not stop the meeting. She stepped out randomly while the meeting was still going, and Megan Walsh disrupted the meeting. Okay? And then that was used as a pretext to start arresting people at random, even though Sununu said people would be asked to leave if there were any further disruptions. I was not asked to leave. She was not asked to leave, and that's what I'm trying to get at. She was one of the 9 arrested, and her charges have been dismissed.
The objection sustained.
Okay? So, people getting arrested. So, and you said that you never heard me say shut it down before?
Correct.
And how familiar are you with me with that? With my speech and where I'm at, what I say?
I just knew of you, and I heard your voice a few times.
Okay. And just give me a second here while I gather my thoughts and try to think of another question.
I don't know if I can give more information on that.
Well, the way it works is you have to answer questions.
Yeah. That's why.
So how about, I don't know if I asked this, I may have. Did you ever hear me say yeah? Very loud and disruptively and recklessly. How about shut it down prior to the Megan Walsh warning, or even prior to, after the Megan Walsh warning, or but before I was taken behind the curtain when you already said I said shut it down? Did you ever hear me say shut it down prior to that?
I did not, and with corroboration with their video and the timing, when I got up and turned and looked around, and their video, I believe, does show,
I'm not testifying to your recollection.
okay, my recollection. I never heard you say anything until I believe you were behind the curtain and that you already had your hands in the zip ties when you said shut it down and Therese said we're being arrested.
Okay.
Because it was really close together and Therese yelled it enough so that her kids could be notified. So I don't know. Yeah.
But so just prior to all of that noise,
Right, and it was only like a minute, so there was only like a few minutes in between when I turned around and you were,
no, I'm saying way before the whole full meeting.
oh, the meeting, I never.
The full meeting before, from the Pledge of Allegiance all the way up to Megan Walsh's warning, and up until I actually did say shut it down. Did you ever hear me say, yeah, shut it down?
I never heard you say anything.
Nothing. Okay. I think we did go over that.
First thing I heard you say was shut it down, and then Therese immediately said we're being arrested. So to me, with that timing, you had to have been already behind the curtain.
Okay.
That's my recollection.
And Megan Walsh's warning was, what was the specificity of her warning?
As far as I can recall, she said, if there are any more disruptions, you will be arrested. Problem with that is there had not been any objection.
Sustained.
Sorry,
Objection for what?
me speculating. Sorry.
Well, I didn't hear that, because usually whenever I say objection, I have to say what I'm supposedly objecting to, right? Not just objection and then you assume what he's objecting to?
Well, your witness identified the issue.
And you testified that people were clapping in the room at points?
In between, like I've never even been to an executive council meeting before, so the meeting, I didn't even know how it was gonna work, but they would talk about an issue, they had so much to talk about, they would talk about an issue, and when the issue stopped and there was a break, because they have to write things down, and I don't even know how that works, but they have to write things down, when they did that, people would clap, or they would say something short. None of it disrupted the meeting.
So
The flow.
did you see any of these people that were clapping and making mumbles and comments, did any of them get warned by any state police?
Not that I know of, but I was warned when I turned around after watching Kathleen go around the corner. I was warned that if I said one
And why did they say that to you?
I don't know, because I hadn't said anything.
So you were threatened with arrest for just saying one more word.
I didn't say any words. The state trooper was a male state trooper up in the front corner, came up to me pointing his hand at me and said, "One more word out of you and you're gonna be arrested." And I was caught off guard.
And then you were arrested shortly
Well,
after.
they pulled Ken Iron out of the way, tapped me on the shoulder and took me out back.
So you were talking to Ken Eyring.
I didn't talk to him. I
Oh.
just sat there and would not answer. And he asked me what that officer had said to me, and I wouldn't say another word because I was told not to.
Fair to say you were terrified at that point?
What's the relevance?
The relevance is the whole entrapment thing and why they're not letting people leave. They're not clearing out the room. If there was such a disturbance, why wasn't the meeting shut down immediately? Why did Sununu stop the meeting for 2 seconds and then start it again so that people could start getting arrested for just asking what was going on and why were people getting arrested randomly? So the point is the whole entrapment thing where they're using Sununu's admonitions as a foundation of a lawful order that we were all warned, as well as Megan Walsh's, even though there were no disruptions happening. And we're going to get to that in the video. All right. So And so Sununu said we would be given the opportunity to leave. After he said that, at any point in time, do you recall anyone or the group being given the opportunity to leave before being arrested?
None of us were given the opportunity to leave.
Thank you very much. That should be all.
No one was preventing you from leaving at any time, right?
No, but it was pretty intimidating with 32 state troopers in the room.
Okay. None of them were blocking the exits though, right?
They were standing near the exits and along all the aisles.
Isn't it true that people had left the room during the proceedings?
Some people had, but I was.
Okay, so nobody was preventing them from doing it, right?
Can you let her answer the question first before you cut her off?
Question again?
Nobody prevented you from leaving the room at any time, isn't that right?
No, but I was intimidated to leave the room in that there were state troopers lining the aisles and the sides. And I was told not to say another word, so I just sat still and was afraid to move.
I have no further questions for you.
I'm good.
You may step down, ma'am. Please be careful of the stairs.
Thank you, Monica.
Mr. Staples?
Yes? Should we go into the videos? The videos. The videos? I have videos. I think we're good on the witnesses at this point. Oh, Ken's here? We already went over that, right? Yeah, no, they said he can't testify. I don't know if he was coming back just in case we needed to ask him again or what, but, right? We're good to go?
Do you intend to take the witness stand, sir? You have no obligation to take the witness stand in this proceeding, and no one can force you to take the witness stand. But if you choose to do so, this would be your opportunity to take the witness stand and testify on your own behalf.
Right, and how about presenting the video evidence?
How would you introduce video evidence?
What do you mean?
Through whom would you introduce the video?
Through myself.
Okay, so if you want to take the witness stand, this
So can I, what do you mean I want to, I don't understand what you mean. So I have to testify first before I can put the video up?
Well, that's how you would introduce.
Okay, that's what I'm asking. All right, so I get up there and then I get down to do that?
But I don't know how you intend to introduce the evidence, but that's at your.
Well, I'll show you how. It's called a HDMI cable and a laptop hooked up to the TV. Right? Hopefully it's long enough.
Just take a break, just to reset.
I mean, we might want to just continue this another day. We have 20 minutes left of the 2 hours, and so maybe we should just come back to do this.
Your Honor, and what I would suggest before, I have no problem with him, I even have an HDMI cable with me that may be longer and better for you, but I would like him to come forward and be sworn in, and then he can go set up and we can do all that, but I don't want to interrupt that process, so before he's going to introduce videos, he should be sworn in as witness. If he could come forward and be sworn in, then we can take the break and he can set up his video. That's what I would suggest.
Mr. Staples, could I trouble you to raise your right hand, please? Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you give in this proceeding will be the truth under the pains and penalties of perjury?
Under the pains and penalties of death, yes. And perjury, if that's good enough.
Fair enough. So we're going to take a 4-minute audio-visual break, and then you can commence your testimony, sir.
Thank you, sir.
All right.
That'll give us 15 more minutes for the day. So what are we going to do when we hit 12 o'clock? We're going to have to come back.
It's up to the judge.
Well, no, he said 2 hours. That's it. He's got other things to do today, and so do I, because he told me 2 hours, that's it. So we'll be back for day 4. Believe that.
Are you going to ask him to address the subpoena issue?
The subpoenas? Oh, he's saying,
Do you want that?
sure, thanks.
Wow.
Apparently, they don't want to allow any subpoenas of people or anything like that.
That doesn't even require a subpoena. He is.
He should be here. He's a witness. He's a key witness, but they're going to lose their case because of it. Oh, there's already one? Here, I'm good. That's yours.
Sorry,
Thank you. I think it's right there.
Yeah, Frank, he's a necessary party for sure.
Huh?
Sununu is a necessary party.
He's a necessary party. Of course he is.
Connect to this. Now it's your laptop.
Okay, excellent. Nice. Thank you so much. Okay. Can I use the bathroom real quick? Is that okay?
Kids just take it off.
Okay, thank you. Oh, jeez. Take y'all into the bathroom with me. Take a leak.
Good luck, man.
Thanks. Appreciate it.
No problem.
Oh man, freaking nightmare in there. For them. You guys testifying? Are you here for? You don't want to come in?
Yeah, I'm just stretching.
Oh, okay, yeah. All right. I wasn't sure if you were out here the whole time or what. Okay.
Keeping the circulation going.
Hey,
Hey, honey, sorry I'm late.
it's okay.
Motion to disqualify Judge 11023. I haven't read the whole thing yet. But isn't that him?
January 10th, 2020. Yes. Yeah, they
It's called
tried.
a probate court hearing. No, this isn't yours.
Oh, for what?
That's what I can't get to. So,
They even used and shut it down when you were already arrested at that point. I mean,
Right, exactly.
I don't understand that.
Well, that's the. I know. They're trying to say that I said it before.
But you never did.
I know.
That's like the whole basis of that fucking case. You know?
I know. Then they're testifying to things that I didn't even said.
Just coming back in.
The charge is disorderly conduct,
Yes.
but if you keep saying I didn't say yeah,
Well, they're charging me with. They're not even charging me with that, even though that's what they've been testifying to. They're charging me with saying shut it down before and after.
but you've had 3 witnesses and you've had, so where's how can it keep going?
Because it has to go to the end. It has to go all the way to the end. It's not over till it's over. Because they don't care. They're bootlickers. It's true. It's not mean. It's true. You guys could easily stop. How do I connect this? Add device. Bluetooth. Unknown device, unknown device, unknown device. Oh, it's probably connected to my phone.
No, if anyone had any faith in government, they lost it. Well, it doesn't matter, it's like, it should already be dismissed, it should already be.
Okay. Got that.
Yeah, they're wasting our money continuing this. This is all about saving face. It's lipstick and a pig that's not sticky. All the other they've been dismissed.
All right.
Please be seated. Mr. Staples.
Yes. So I guess I'll go start this video. So this is the Trina Stokes video that was right behind me that the state has been using. I got it off of the Rebuild New Hampshire website.
Hey guys. Alright, so we're here for the vote. We're at NHTI with the governor, hoping that we get no's on this 27 million.
Okay.
We got a lot of freedom fighters here, which is amazing. And
So we can hear the purpose of why everyone was there, to hear no's on the vote. You didn't hear her testify to shutting anything down or just being disruptive. And
I'm just going to raise, just as a thought for the court, I don't know that this lady has appeared to testify. I don't believe she has. I don't recognize her. If she's appearing in this format, obviously we don't have the opportunity to confront and cross-examine her, so it sort of violates the fundamental notion of the opportunity to confront and cross-examine. So I object because it's hearsay and it violates the sort of fundamental tenet of due process tenet of people who are going to make statements, if that they are assertions that they want the court to accept, are subject to be called and confronted. She's not on the witness list, and she's not someone who is, so to the extent she's making statements,
No.
I don't want those statements admitted.
She's not making statements.
Problem if
Her
she
name's
stands back and
Trina.
the video rolls and we see some things, but I don't want Mr. Staples now saying, this is what she's saying, this is what the purpose was, and having that be adopted through her without us having the opportunity to confront and cross-examine her. She's not an identified witness. That's improper. We object.
Your Honor, she actually was here. She was on this witness stand and she was disqualified for watching the day one of the trial. So what I...
What I imagine the way this should work is that I need to let you know that the court won't consider anything that might be considered testimonial about what's being said on the video.
If I may, to touch on what O'Leary has been saying the whole time, the video evidence is the best evidence. And this is the video evidence that the state is trying to use in a selective fashion. So to say that this is testimony, this is not testimony, this is an exhibit. And I am going through the context of the day. A couple minutes after this is where there's an interview with me and a reporter where I say, I'm going to be super quiet. I'm not going to do anything. My whole plan is to be quiet, okay? Which goes along with the testimony and everything. So we're going to go through this thing, and we're going to, if he feels that something is necessary to call someone here who we've tried to call and get their testimony, he can call them as a hostile witness or whatever he wants to do if he feels he needs to cross-examine a video evidence. There's nothing to cross-examine. The video is the video.
So, Mr. Staples, the court won't consider anything that takes place in the video that can be considered testimonial. And so I will just ask you to please not make your commentary about testimonial statements made in the video. If you want to capture what took place at the hearing in terms of noises that were made.
That's what I'm trying to do.
Okay, but
sure.
I'm not going to allow hearsay to come in, and the state has a point with respect to you can't introduce testimony because these people.
I'm not introducing testimony. I'm just introducing the video.
I want to make sure you understand
Huh.
how I'm going to treat this. I'm not going to consider testimonial statements. I will consider objective evidence contained in the video. Do you follow me?
Yes. I have tons of it.
Please proceed.
Okay. So.
WMUR is here, so how about that? All right, I'll give you guys kind of a quick tour.
You can see all the people outside, hundreds of people.
So it goes to this moment. It really doesn't matter what happens here today. It does for us because we need to make sure that
We're joined by several state troopers.
important part of this whole thing, right? They work for us. So, but just so you know, we've already been sold down the river. So million contract that got signed, and so there's like 1.3 million, under the guise of THHS for STD. It's on the Granite Cross, you guys can see it. So everything that they're doing here is absolutely illegal. It's unconstitutional. So when the governor can meet with the executive council, and they can talk about what they want for funding or whatever, but all of that has to go to the full body of the general court.
Today we can stand and start taking back some of what's been stolen. And what we need the executive council to do.
To put the
Also said for people not to show up to our WMUR protest. This WMUR doesn't deserve the time of day from us. But the day before, 2 days before, they just did a press release with WMUR. How come they get coverage by the news? Also said for people not to show up to our WMUR protest. This WMUR doesn't. There we go. All right, there we go.
So we can see what's going on. It's right in there. Boilerplate isolation. Using vaccine passports to offer people out of society like they're doing in New York. You need to have a vaccine passport to get from McDonald's driver. And also the isolation and quarantine of the unvaccinated and healthy people. So we can see what's going on. It's right in there. Boilerplate language is not boilerplate language. This is Broadway.
When it is time for the vote, we are going to stand up.
It's hard to hear because
And we are going to lead on.
she's asking me a question about what my plan is, and this is where I'm saying that I plan on being silent. Of course, you can hear Therese on the bullhorn simultaneously, but I'm trying to get at this point at the 12-minute mark where I say that I plan on being silent.
Well, it's up to these groups that I call controlled opposition, which they try to undermine the grassroots.
It's coming up.
There has to be a protest movement. We need to be the stick to get them to eat the carrot that reopening all these politicals want to do. They're not activists, they're politicians and they're lobbyists. And if they want good bills to get pushed through, we need to be speaking with our feet and showing up as people. And if they can't get behind the people, then who are they and what are they doing? That's the question.
Several of them realized that it needs to be a no vote. So I have a lot of hope this morning.
I was planning on being silent anyways because we want to being out and calling everybody is
turning our backs because they don't even need to be doing this today.
easy to
They could have
smear,
just said this
right?
is not right for doing
Could you hear that?
So my plan is to be, just showing up as people. And if they can't get behind the people, then who are they and what are they doing? That's the question.
Pause it.
I'm not able to discern what you're saying.
Oh, sorry.
The only thing I could discern was you saying that we need to be the stick.
Do you want me to bring this up? And then right after that is where she asked me another question at this 12-minute mark, and I say, I was planning on being, you can't hear really what she asked.
I can't hear it.
It's because you
I
get,
discern what you're saying.
you can if you listen and you try not to listen to the bullhorn in the background. I know it's difficult, but you can, and I can hear it. Maybe I just have super hearing, but if you want to try to listen again, it might take a couple times for you to hear it, but it's there.
All of them realize that it needs to be a no vote. So I have a lot of hope
Right here.
this morning.
I was planning on being silent anyways because we want to take what being out and calling everybody is
turning our backs because they don't even need to be doing this today.
easy to
They could have
smear,
just said this
right?
is not right for doing youngsters. We don't even need
So
to
my
be
plan
voting
was
on
to
this
be,
one.
just come here and be casual and do my thing and represent the people.
So there's that, and you can review it. I don't know. Can I give the court a file of this? You guys are gonna have to review this, right? The videos, that's gonna become part of the case record, right?
You have
minute marks?
Intention to introduce
This entire video.
through thumb drive?
Sure, whatever I got to do that. Yeah. I'm going to upload. I will introduce this video, and then there are other perspectives which catch different things as well. And then there's one 10-minute video from another person who caught most of the arrests, my arrests. So now, turning our backs. Okay.
I'm going to interrupt you there, Mr. Staples, and ask you to go back to the table. We're not going to have time to.
Yeah, it's
Further
about noon.
in this proceeding. We'll continue this and let me propose April 13th at 12:45.
Sir, could we do it anytime after the 15th? Like I said, I had Honorable Senator Bob Guida, who had surgery. He was unable to make it today. He texted me, literally, he called me when I was out front, and he said, I'm sorry I can't make it, but if I can, after April 15th, I will be available.
Well, tell me about your availability
On
on the 13th.
the 13th? I don't know. Let me check the date. Thursday. Yeah, no, probably not until the 17th, and between the 17th and 21st, I'll be fine. I'm going to be moving, and I'm not going to be. I have a personal engagement. So.
I'm going to schedule this for the 13th.
Why?
Unless the state has a reason. You tell me your availability.
I have a trial scheduled at 10 o'clock in Cheshire County, Judge.
So he's got something anyway. So why don't we just, be a little bit accommodating?
Of April.
Excellent. That sounds good.
I already have two things scheduled in the morning, two different counties.
Of course he does.
That would be fine.
12:45 on April 20th.
12:40. Blaze a blunt in court. See you later, alligator.
What has he said about Senator and the subpoena?
At this point, it's not clear they're not ruling on my motions properly. They're not even giving me time to respond to these guys' motions when they file them. It's pretty crazy.
Would it be
12:45.
Now that it's clear that this judge is biased, faced that he wasn't willing to give you work around your schedule, but he was willing to work around
Right.
their schedule, could you file something asking him to be removed?
I don't know. Thank you so much.
This judge is being, there's a motion, and I think
So boom, boom, transcript thing here. subpoenas. Yeah, they didn't even let me a chance to freaking respond to these guys' objection. You know what I mean? I don't get 10 days to respond to none of you guys' things, right? Shove the shit down my throat.
This is the stuff you're trying to show the court. You want the court to accept as exhibit.
Executive Council 1 and 2, Rebuild New Hampshire. That's the Katrina Stokes video. That's where I got it from. And then
Let me just write that down.
the ones that you guys gave us is the police state discs.
Right, is this one up here, right? So
Yep, those were yep.
This is Katrina
It's Trina, but they call her. Yep.
video, and that's what started the play out.
That was that. Yeah, you can find it on Rebuild New Hampshire Rumble channel.
Okay, and then when this says Executive Council 1 and 2, what's that mean?
That is from, it's a YouTube channel, Executive Council YouTube channel.
And does this
And then
what does this cover? Does this cover, by 1 and 2, does this mean?
There's 2 videos, parts 1 and 2.
Of the 13th?
Yes.
So this is not like 1 being St. A's, 2 being...
Correct. No.
Okay. All right, and then what's Unknown Perspective?
Unknown Perspective is on my channel, and it's a 10-minute one that says it says 10:13, people are being arrested.
All right, yeah, just trying to figure out what his videos were, so people... You just send me, you've got my thing, just send me an email saying, hey, this is how you find it on my channel. I'll probably be able to find it for you. It's on my YouTube channel.
It's in the Executive Council playlist there.
Okay.
All right.
Just send it to me and I'll find it.
Okay, thank you. Yep, no problem. Yeah. I'm like, he's like, I can't hear it. I'm like, how can you not hear it? That's why I brought the speaker. Yeah. Well, yeah, it was a problem because there's like all this stuff going on. It's hard to like filter and listen to one thing while you're hearing other things that are louder. Yeah. Yeah. Ow. Okay. All right. So I think that's it.
Good job, Frank.
Thanks. Appreciate it. I know. There's been murder trials that are shorter than this.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Right?
Yeah, I never gave them any attachments. These are the attachments that I had.
Oh.
I don't.
You don't need them?
No.
What are they for?
This is why we pay taxes, guys.
That's the earliest I could prove that I knew that what was going on was not right.
Right.
It was about a month after the shutdown or whatever, and I'm like, I was reading something on Zero Hedge, and it was like, it was like questioning like what was going on. Like I thought it was 2 weeks to slow the spread.
Right. Yeah.
And it turns out it was all bullshit. So I mean, there's an article there by Jeffrey Tucker.
Okay.
From July of 2020, and it's titled "When Will the Madness End?" And the whole thing was, it talks about when psychosis happens to a group of people, it happens simultaneously. They're all infected with the psychosis at the same time.
Yep.
But people heal on an individual basis. And that is exactly what we're seeing right now, where we see parents with 3-year-olds wearing masks, people who are afraid to be near people. It's and some people still haven't healed from it, right?
Right.
So the Jeffrey Tucker article is fascinating because, it's like, oh, okay, it's going to be a couple months and everybody's going to be healed, everybody's going to be better.
Right.
And no big deal. And here we are 3 years later.
Still dealing with it.
Yeah. So, anyways.
All right. Hey, thanks for coming out.
Yeah, absolutely.
Appreciate it.
I'm trying to make it 22. So 12:45, 20th, right?
12:45. Yep. Okay.
You up there? I mean, you didn't say anything. You didn't say anything.
I didn't even get to say anything yet. I know.
Take care.
All right. See ya. Yeah. Thank you. God bless. Want to do an interview outside? All right. What's up? It's not recording.
And someone that filled out that thing to record.
Well, good luck.
Thank you so much.
I guess it'll be another.
It was a
Another day. Might be another couple of days, to be honest. I got three 3-hour videos to go
I always do
through.
anonymous. But he forced me
So.
to.
Well, I mean, it's so obvious already. I wasn't there, but I mean, what would be their case?
The case is.
Because you made trouble before. They keep on trying to bring that up.
It's malicious prosecution is what it is. This is what it's called. This is malicious prosecution, 100%. His intention was about the previous hearing that got shut down, where I was loud, and that meeting should have been shut down too. And I shut it down all the time because I love saying shut it down. That's my thing. That's my jam. That shut it down. I say it. Shut it down all the time.
I could hear it, and I wasn't sitting as close.
Freaking idiots. Unbelievable.
I actually said to her before, I said, I was already planning on being quiet, actually, or silent, actually, something, whatever it said.
Yeah.
I could hear it from where I was sitting, and was I in the last seat?
Yeah.
The last row?
Yeah, you could obviously hear it.
I could hear it. Yeah.
Even though Therese had a bullhorn, you could distinctly hear my voice.
It's okay, because an appeal is going to destroy everyone.
Oh yeah, they're not. The judge is not going to want this case to come back.
But the other thing.
Through the equalizer that I gave you, and reduce
Oh yeah.
Teresa's sound and boost yours.
Yeah, can you remind me to do that and send it to me again fresh, and I'll try to clean it up a little bit.
Yeah, because this judge is not going to look at anything he absolutely
Well,
doesn't have to.
Yeah.
He's
Have a good day.
He's got a problem anyways, because he was the top dog in the public defender's office. So he's got a conflict of interest with every single attorney before him.
Thank you so much.
That's what the probate court thing is, right? Is
Gotcha.
that they said he has a conflict of interest with that attorney.
So Frank, I just don't get it. I mean,
What part?
I don't get how they can keep going with it.
They got nothing to lose.
They have nothing to lose. Yeah, it's just following through.
All about nothing to lose.
It's not about justice. This isn't about, punishing someone for committing a crime. This is about punishing me for shutting down the other executive council meeting, which had 75 people. There were 75 people in there. I was just the loudest one in the room. I was just the loudest and most aggressive because I'm the most fearless, and I get right into anybody's face. I don't care who you are, cop, judge, anybody. You're a person.
Why do you think you should charge you with the prior one?
What do you mean?
Interesting, right?
Right? Yeah.
Well, they tried.
Oh, they tried.
They tried. They did a 6-month investigation with the Attorney General on that about criminal threats being made. And they said, we think we could charge people, but we're not going to. Okay, so that makes a lot of sense. So you think you could charge, that's just trying to tell the public, we would have done something there, but they came up with an excuse, making it seem like something was done, but we're not charging people because, we feel magnanimous. We're not going to charge people even though we think people did something that day, right? Saying we know where you live is what they made a big deal about. And saying we know where you live is just reiterating that you're a public servant and your home address and phone number is a matter of public record. When you become a public official, you lose many rights that a citizen retains.
And knowing where somebody lives is not necessarily threatening. It might be
Why
threatening.
they didn't charge you?
Right.
It's not violently threatening, even if it's threatening in a non-criminal sense.
Sure.
Yeah.
It could be taken as a type of it, but it's not a criminal threat for purposes of the statute.
You can go out and protest outside of, say, the governor's house, and that's a threat, but it may not be a threat. It's not a violent threat.
Right. It's a potential threat. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but
anything is a potential threat.
Peter then should have been charged with threatening too. The last time we were here, threatening both you and I.
Right, with arrest.
There's no way
right.
for them to show what the intent was by that statement in and of itself.
Correct.
And it wasn't threatening.
It was not a credible threat, right? So they're just following through with this thing, and they're trying to make an example out of me and everybody else. Why do you think after the first meeting they were prepared to arrest every single person that was there that day? All the chairs that were zip tied together, there was enough chairs, there were enough paddy wagon vans to have every single person there arrested. Old, young, babies, doesn't matter if you had a baby in your arm, doesn't matter. That whole thing was entrapment. And just them trying to say, oh, well, people weren't being held in there. You guys could have left if you wanted to and all that. It doesn't matter when...
Actually, they didn't let people go back in if they left.
They didn't let people go back in if they left, right? And that still is a wiggly way to keep themselves from saying they entrapped people. But entrapment doesn't mean they physically kept you in there. Entrapment means that they created conditions where, under normal circumstances, the arrest would not have happened. And it wasn't just my arrest; it was other people's arrests, right? And that's why I made such a big deal once I got behind the curtain. I said, people need to know about this. And once I'm in cuffs, I can say whatever I want. You know, that's their problem for picking that venue, which allows me to, you know, to do something like that. Maybe they shouldn't have arrested me for something that I didn't do. And now I'm what? I'll get found guilty for disorderly conduct after the fact.
Well, and what's their fine for? I mean, what is the ridiculous thing they could put you in?
It's not. It's a fine. It's a fine. Correct. This is the other thing. It's a fine.
That's a whole separate room. They created a separate room by that curtain.
Right.
The noise could
go through there.
They shouldn't have taken you there.
Exactly. They should have took me somewhere else.
Yeah, I mean, you have a reasonable expectation to be being able to ask a officer questions about your arrest. That's, you know.
Thanks. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry.
It's okay.
Thank you so much for doing this. And,
Yeah, I have no choice really.
no, but like,
yeah. No, thanks for coming out.
Frank,
thanks, Margaret. Good seeing you.
I'm sorry.
See ya.
What did they say about the whole Cadenza thing? Because unfortunately, I didn't get here early.
They didn't really touch on that, did they? Well, he denied I filed the last minute mistrial thing.
Yeah.
And
with all the documentation?
Yeah.
So it's in the record.
He didn't see any of that though.
It's in the record.
Right.
Good.
And there's no way he could have seen any of it.
Okay, so the interesting, so I went through all the stuff that we got last time we were here. So on March 16th, you filed something says, where the heck is Provenza?
Right.
I want to call Provenza.
Right.
And at that time, they should have filed a motion to object to that.
Right.
You filed a motion and they never responded. And to this date, as far as I can see in the record, there is no response to that motion.
Yeah, and they're acting like, oh, well, because he wasn't on the witness list, so he's exempt from the judge's order. Well, then none of my witnesses were on the witness list either on the day one. So how are they not exempt from the judge's order?
Right.
It just doesn't make any sense. Selective prosecution and favoritism, yeah, you know, but.
So they're trying to deter activism. That's what it sounds like.
Exactly.
The bottom line.
That is exactly what they're trying to do. They don't want anybody opposing them accepting millions of dollars at our behalf at our own detriment. You know, and then look at something that I haven't put out there, but some of you may have heard from the candlelight vigil in front of the governor's house. There were 9 of us that were ticketed. There was a Newfields police officer who spied on our Zoom meeting, and she's the one that testified in the hearings that we were all found not guilty for. Well, she died suddenly and unexpectedly. 38-year-old healthy woman.
Yeah.
Why? How? Maybe she was forced to get the vax to keep her job, or maybe she got it just because she was brainwashed. But this is why I do what I do, is to try to protect other people who think they're protecting us. They want to protect us, right? They want to tell us what to do and how to do it. But we can't say, no, maybe you should take that mask off. Maybe you should not get the jab, right? Because of these reasons, it's healthy. I'm trying to protect you from that. What's the difference? They don't want to hear it. They don't want to take it into consideration. They just want to shove shit down everyone else's throats. And you got to accept it and not say nothing about it.
Now, Frank, I
I've been videoing these conversations so the people that couldn't attend, they can hear what's going on. So if the people, the witness that watching this, can they still testify?
Basically not, from what they're saying.
This.
Well, if there's inside.
It's not the trial.
They can watch this. Yeah, they can watch this.
Alright.
I'm not telling anybody what to say or anything like that. I want everybody to just say what you recall. And at this point, we're getting into my testimony. I am still going to push to have Senator Bob Guida allowed to testify because he was not allowed to be. He couldn't be here today because of medical reasons, and he should be allowed to testify as an expert, just like basically Megan, not Megan Rose, the other one. Wait, yeah, Megan Rose, right? Megan Rose was the executive council secretary person or whatever she was, and they used her to get on the record. The meeting was different than so much louder than usual. Well, it wasn't a usual meeting. It wasn't held in the usual place.
It was quieter than your typical executive council meeting on the videos that I saw.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Executive council meetings are often very, very rough because they're held in the big room outside Governor Sununu's office.
Gotcha.
But there's only seats for like 25 people.
So yeah, I'm at testimony at this point. I'm going to start going through the videos, and we're going to go through these videos minute by minute. And who knows how long this might take.
Now, Frank, the girl who testified that said she was sitting directly behind you, I believe Trina was the one that was standing next to her videoing.
That was before. That was the last time she was said. That was Jorgensen. Yeah.
Why couldn't she come back and testify to what she heard Trina saying?
She apparently, we were halfway through her testimony.
Yeah, and she was supposed to come back.
Yeah, I don't know if she wasn't available. Take it easy.
I don't think it was clear. I don't think it was made clear to her that we'd want her back because she was they were not allowed to cross.
Right. It wasn't made clear to me that she needed to be back. I didn't say anything.
She was still sequestered.
Right. I don't know. I guess we were halfway through. I forgot. And they really don't care about my disability. I can't even remember half the questions that I asked. But it really doesn't matter because I didn't do anything. And the truth is in the videos. And they're going to see how messed up it is. And they know too. That's why but it's putting in the videos. It's showing stuff that we don't want you to see because it makes us look bad. Right? Go back and watch the videos. I'm actually.
I love that you said we're just looking at video evidence.
I'm gonna upload that.
I think a key thing is that, when the judge says that they're giving testimony in the video and they can't come here, blah blah. Well, you just say that this testimony is as it's happening.
Right.
As it's happening, they're testifying.
It's not.
So they don't need to rehash it up here in
Not
court.
only that, but the state brought that in as evidence. So
Right. They're the ones that already put it in.
It's not even your video; it's the state's video.
Exactly.
At this point.
Right. The only reason I got the whole thing was so we could have it all in context. They wanted to pick out little tiny parts and show, and you really couldn't hear what happened there because it was a bit of a commotion. And they're trying to say that I said, yeah, when that's not even what I'm being charged with. So whenever I talk about it's a lie and yeah, none of that matters because I'm charged with clapping loudly and saying shut it down before I was arrested and then after I was arrested.
Yeah.
So, and I certainly didn't say it before. I definitely did say it after.
Did any of the witnesses confirm that they saw you clapping loudly?
None of them testified to clapping at all.
Okay. Did any of them confirm that you said shut it down before you went behind the curtain?
One of them did testify to that, and that was before, that was Lavoie. I was like, you fucked up the timeline, because I know that I said it afterwards. I didn't understand that I was being charged before with saying shut it down too. So I'm like, wait, they're charging me with saying shut it down before and after, so that but then they're testifying, half the cops said, I said yeah, after Therese said amen, and that was why I was arrested. So it's like, what was it? Was I arrested for saying yeah, amen, it's a lie, shut it down? I don't know. And you can hear all kinds of stuff throughout the videos, people saying stuff.
Yeah.
You know, and you know, you can hear me at one point. You can hear me say, he should know. I wasn't yelling. I just said it matter-of-factly, and that's when I got the warning from DeLuca. But that's not even part of the charges. That was before the fact, right? Yeah.
I mean, evidence is better than testimony. It's all there.
Exactly. That's the thing. He's like,
caught witness tampering.
Right.
And then I'm gonna.
They don't care. Judge don't care. You know. Oh, he was texting. So.
Did he rule on that? He didn't rule on
I don't
it at
know.
all, right? I mean, don't
I should actually file a subpoena for Provenza's phone records on that day in camera. I'll say I want the judge to review in camera, and if so that if there isn't anything there, I don't want to see if he was texting his lover, you know what I mean, or something like that, or.
What if Sununu's his lover? Just saying.
It may be true. I can't confirm nor deny.
But if he was, then it needs to be known, and if he wasn't, he should have no problem letting the judge see his texts if they were all benign. Right? So,
what are the chances of filing something against these lawyers' licenses based on what they're doing?
possibly it's getting to that point. We'll figure that out at the end. Okay. I'm trying to get as much as I can generated towards, you know, obviously I'm going beyond the scope of what a lawyer can do. And that's the point. That's the whole reason why I want to represent myself, because I can get so much more on the record that a lawyer would never even touch. So, and what's going to happen? I get a fine, I got to go to jail for a few days, big deal.
They're wasting my money, our money, for something so frivolous, even if let's just say you were really guilty. Still extremely frivolous.
Agreed. Agreed.
Yeah.
$40,000 so far
it's a lot higher
on
than that.
our tax dollars for a misdemeanor, and over 18 months.
It would have.
I mean, this is the biggest thing.
4-day trial.
This is the biggest thing that I keep when I tell people. They're like, "Oh no, you've got to be wrong. It must be 2022." I'm like, "Nope, it was 10/13/2021."
Mm-hmm.
They're like, "That's got to be wrong. What about the fair and free?" Yeah, you know.
Or you still have 7 more to go through,
right? And only Therese has a date. Isn't that interesting?
Oh, no,
None of the other ones have a date yet. So the two defendants who have a greater charge don't even have dates yet. And if they're so bad, if you're so, I looked at the ruling on why they did not object to, they just let your bail, they filed a motion to pull your bail conditions, and then they didn't object to just letting it go. And I'm like, well, if he's such a big, bad, ugly, then why did they do that?
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Thank you.
I like the decision about your beard even better.
Oh, thanks. I appreciate that. Thank you so much.
I gotta take off. Okay. Good luck.
That's my true claim to fame. Thank you so much. The beard lawsuit.
Beard lawsuit. Can you explain that real quick? The beard lawsuit.
Fuck around and find out. I did 5 years in solitary confinement straight, but for the last 2.5 years of that little stint, I was denied parole, and I was denied to be let out of maximum security solitary into population because I was not shaving my beard on religious grounds. And so I ended up suing the state prison and the warden, and we had an injunction, and I won pro se. I had a 2-day, basically like a trial, but for an injunction, right? And I won my injunction. And then once I won my release, they came and started doing what's called diesel therapy, and they would move you from cell to cell to cell. And there was no reason for them to move me. And so I refuse. I'll upload this video sometime. I